The ethos of Eastern cultures, the fundamental ethos of Eastern cultures is a watered-down version of individual enlightenment. This culture, which we refer to as the Bharatvarsh, essentially is a complex, chaotic concoction of multiple influences of enlightened beings. When these beings came, they did not teach morality, they did not teach values or ethics, but they taught them a way, a possibility. Because one's way was never the same as the others. Someone asked me, Sadhguru J. Krishnamurti was a master of his intellect. Rajneesh was a master of controversy. What are you? I said, I'm a master of chaos. I know how to harness chaos. I can make a chaotic situation culminate into something fantastic. So, every master had his own way. And all of this melted pretty well into the culture. You will see, except today's English-educated India, if you go to the rural masses, you will see if you go to a place, a Kumbh Mela is a fantastic display of this. If you go to, let's say, Kumbh Mela, a classic event on the planet, one like no other. Every kind of path, the weird and the wise, all perfectly fitting into each other. Nothing contradicts anything. Everything is absolutely different from the other, but nothing contradicts anything, everything fits in perfectly well. This is not something that a thinking mind, a logically correct mind, particularly a Western mind, could understand. How do all these people fit together? This is because there is no right and wrong. The question is only about, has it worked for you or not? If it has worked to evolve you into a higher state of being, it doesn't matter whether it's right for me or not, whether it agrees with me or not. If it doesn't agree with me, there's always another way for me. So this is a fantastic outcome of generations and generations of enlightened beings. Each one of them, unhindered by what the previous one had said, explored his own way, expounded his own path, never in conflict with the one before him or the ones before him. So this is the nature of exploration, that it's not about right and wrong, it's about just making it happen. Is the white flower the most beautiful one or the red flower the most beautiful one? Such questions don't arise out here. Such questions have come from cultures which are steeped in morality, as to something has to be good and something has to be bad. In this state of making something right and making something wrong, there is no way a spiritual process can happen, because essentially spiritual process means all-inclusiveness. If you cannot embrace everything the way it is, if you have to accept some and reject some, then there will be no spiritual process. You will only have morality, no spirituality. This reminds me of a fantastic story, a situation rather, which happened in Bahubali's life. Myself and Bahubali for a few years had a great affair. There is a place called Gomatagiri, which is a little over 25 kilometers from Mysore city. There is a 18-foot tall statue of Gomata standing naked on top of a rock. I think it's 1100-year-old statue, which was lost with overgrowth of forest. And only about probably somewhere in late 60s, it was rediscovered. The man who rediscovered it, a simple stone cutter, an illiterate person, went there to take a stone which was appropriate for making whatever forms that he was making it of, usually some deity. And he discovered this statue which is on top of a small hill or a bunch of rocks which are around 120 feet tall, and on top of it, an 18-foot statue of Bahubali. I met this old man. He was in his 70s, still cutting stone and doing physical work. And when I spoke to him, a completely unschooled, illiterate person, he was such an amazing guy. Just having found this Gomateshwara, his whole life was transformed. He became a great devotee. A simple stone cutter turned into a fantastic devotee, and I met him probably 83 or 84 when I was there. And I conducted a few programs and spent a certain amount of time in Gomatagiri. There are any number of things I can say about this place because so many things happened there. This was a time, after 1982, my own experiences had blossomed, and but I was trying to find articulation to what was happening within me. It was a very crucial time where Gomateshwara came into my life. And as I said, we had a great affair. So there is a wonderful situation in Gomata's life. He and his brother fought many battles together initially. Later on, they fought against each other. After having a bloodbath, after having slaughtered thousands of people, one day Bahubali or Gomata realized, what is the point of all this bloodshed? And he went and stood in penance, naked, just there. You'll always see the statues of Gomata standing naked with vines going up his legs or his body to show that he stood there for a very long time. And he stood there for over 14 years. Everything that he could do with himself in terms of purifying himself, he had done, but still he could not attain. When a yogi came by, a sage of great attainment came by, Gomata looked at him and just one teardrop slipped out of his eyes. This one teardrop was a question mark. What is it? I've done everything that I can do. What is holding me back? That's a question, an unuttered question, just a teardrop to ask this question to the yogi. What is holding me back? I've done everything that I know. Then the yogi said, you have brought a false sense of humility into you. You're a king, but now you're willing to bow down to a beggar on the street. You're willing to bow down to any creature on the planet. You're willing to bow down to an inanimate rock. You have made yourself like this, it's wonderful, but I see you're incapable of bowing down to your brother with whom you have a fight. It is this falseness of humility which is holding you back. This was the moment of attainment for Bahubali. Within himself, he did bow down to his brother and he attained. This is a very beautiful story because this is how human beings are held back. It's not some great things. One little thing that you can't clear from your karmic space just holds you back. Is this not unfair? How many things I did, one thing holds me back. Right now, if your little finger gets stuck to this pillar, I've freed my whole body, but my little finger is stuck. Can I go somewhere? I cannot go somewhere. That's how it is.